Oh boy, where do I begin with this now? So I don't know how we're in 2022 and we're still making bad movies. Like, how is this a thing? Like, this is my problem with movies, right? I'm not saying that all movies should follow the same beat. Everything should be the same if we want a good movie. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you shouldn't be creative and write your own things. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, how is it that you have a vision, okay? You're putting your own creativity into this, and it still sucks. Like, it just blows my mind. Now, you can't go into these horror movies expecting a masterpiece all the time, you know? Not all horror movies are going to be like that. There's very few that are great movies, but masterpiece, it's just not going to happen. But this Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, the Netflix movie, is so bad. It is so bad. I don't even know where to begin with this. Okay, so the good thing about the movie is this. I'll say this. It's only an hour and a half long. That's a positive. So you don't have to sit through all the shit they put on the screen. Look, there's going to be spoilers in here. I'm going to say that now. But I'll say this. There's a scene that actually lives up to the title of Massacre. And it involves the bus scene that we've all seen in the trailers. Other than that, this movie is not a good movie. This is not a decent movie. This is not even a subpar movie. This is garbage. I mean, this is flat out garbage. Ah, man. I'm doing a review for this because I haven't done one in a while. But guys, this is bad. This is really bad. So let's get into it. So this one starts out a little bit different. This one is now about a Leatherface who has not been on a spree. You know what type of spree I'm saying. Can't say it because, you know, YouTube. He hasn't been on a spree since I don't know how long. There's a new lady in the film that looks after him, and she kind of keeps him in check and keeps him from doing those things that he does to people. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. She keeps him from destroying people. I'll say that because that's all I can say for now. She keeps him in check. The lady then dies about, I want to say 30 minutes into the movie, maybe like 20 something minutes, something around there. After that, he proceeds to start doing what he always does to people. Taking people's faces and just ending people's existence, okay? Wow, this is super peachy. Anyway, so he proceeds to do that. And as the movie goes on, you start to see him rack up on the bodies and blah, 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 right? That's not the problem. The problem here is everything else that ensues. The characters are dumb. The way that people get unalived, as Deadpool would say.
Unalive them? Yeah. Here's the thing. I can't really say the K word out loud. It's a weird mental tick. But we're gonna destroy them, make them disappear, sleep them with the fishes.
It's so dumb. And it's just such a bad movie. I don't even know where to begin with it, guys. I'm trying to keep everything in check, but the movie is just so terrible. They don't really make many references to the old one, which I'm fine with, but for what it wants to be, which is its own new thing, where you have a storyline where Leatherface is getting back into who he once was, and he's a troubled child, and he's the only child left from foster home. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I don't know how you make this character work because this character is already just a stupid character. But this does not work. It doesn't. The characters in this movie fall flat. I'll say that now. None of the characters I liked. Didn't care for any of them. I mean, if you like the violence, I mean, sure. If you're into that kind of stuff, you guys know me. I don't really like to look at that stuff. Sometimes in this movie, I did look away because some of the stuff is a little too brutal, and I don't like seeing all that brutality and stuff. I don't know what else there is to say. The ending was piss poor. The ending was garbage. They had that one callback to the pretty lady where he's wearing somebody's mask and he's putting the makeup on. I mean, I guess if you like that stuff. This Leatherface is also different because he doesn't have a cellar. He doesn't have a dungeon where he takes people down there and he just goes crazy. He doesn't have that. He's just kind of getting back into touch with who he was, where he has his chainsaw buried behind a wall. He has all his weapons buried behind a wall. I will say this movie is very brutal. It's very brutal. They don't shy away from the violence. They do not shy away from the violence at all. So like I said, if you're one of those people that's into that, hey bro, you should probably get that checked out, but it's there. Other than that, this movie is straight garbage. It's dog water. This movie is it's the worst movie I've seen so far for the year, but that's not entirely fair because the year just started. But I'll say this: it's the worst horror movie I've seen in the past several years. This movie's really bad. Like I said, the characters felt flat. They were just boring. They were lame characters, non-relatable. Nothing about them was interesting. At least this time there was actually a police station. There was actually a sheriff, like, you know, because in the old movies, it was like Sheriff Hoyt was the only sheriff for like miles. There was no other police force in there. There was nothing there besides Sheriff Hoyt, and he ends up working with Leatherface. So they kind of got rid of that stupid idea. That was really dumb about the old ones. They still don't explain how Leatherface is so big and so broad and he can run like 80 miles per hour. It still makes no sense how he can catch teens that are in shape. And that has always made no sense to me. They do a little plot line where there's a girl that's a survivor of a school massacre, and she ends up being, you know, terrified of weapons because one of them almost unalived her. And she ends up at the end of the film having a whole turnaround where she's the one to pick up a shotgun and blow Leatherface away. And you're supposed to be like, yeah, she's getting into her own. She's conquering her fear. But didn't work for me. Didn't work for me. It just felt like, wow, why am I still watching this garbage? Honestly, that's what I thought through this whole film. There was times I was looking at my phone. I don't know, guys. I just don't know with these freaking crappy ass movies anymore, guys. I don't know what to say, okay? This movie was garbage. That's all I can really tell you guys. So make sure you guys leave a like, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to share that video because we're on that road to 1,000 subscribers. As far as rating will go, I mean, I didn't enjoy the movie. I can't think of anything I enjoyed. So this will probably be the first for me that I say this. This movie was probably a 1. And that's me being very generous. I'm giving it a 1 because I don't think any movie deserves a 0 because, you know, everybody has their own creative mind and creative spirit, but this is probably a 1. The creative ideas that they had, I mean, I didn't mind the whole aspect of Leatherface not being, like, I didn't mind the aspect of them bringing out a Leatherface that hasn't been out in a long time. I did like that. I will say that. It was a different take on the character. I like that idea. I will say that. I like that idea. But everything else was just piss poor. It was just bad. So those are my thoughts, guys. That's all I got.